I doggy proofed the room, studio, if you will, where I'm recording, so no canine interruptions this time. Interest group politics is what I'm going to talk about here very briefly to set up that module or to follow up if you've already done that module in terms of the posted lecture notes and the narrated slides and that documentary on the best Congress that money can buy. That's where I'll start. It's a 56-minute video, something like that, by the legendary Dan Rather. It's a documentary. I'd say the first 30 minutes are what I really want you to focus on here. So if you get those first 30 minutes in, you've done your job. It's as bad as you probably think it is, and those stories make that abundantly clear. So a couple of vignettes that they relate there that expose some of the darker side of interest group politics, and also the human side, right? I mean, these lobbyists are not evil. They just see an opportunity to make a lot of money. And they take those opportunities. They mostly, except in the case of that one dude who was a legendarily corrupt lobbyist, they mostly play within the rules, but maybe the rules aren't that good. The rules allow, if you will, I think, for a kind of legalized corruption. It's pretty disturbing. If we're thinking about this in broad outline, we're probably thinking about the democratic ethos, the components of that ethos, most critically, political equality. And as we've discussed before in slightly different ways, look, that's the issue, if you will, with interest group politics. Clearly, it's a vital and protected form of political expression in any legitimate democracy, so fantastic. First Amendment, right? We have the right to petition government for a redress of grievances. That's what lobby groups do. But clearly, there's also a way in which they're not so fantastic. The other side of the coin, if you will, where they exert disproportionate influence based not on their numbers necessarily, but on their resources that they can bring to bear on their fellow humans in Congress. Or of course, some of the same stuff goes on with the bureaucracy, and at some level, especially at the state level, even some version of that with the courts. So not unique to Congress, but certainly most on display with Congress. So watch those first 30 minutes. Again, probably mostly just confirms what we already think about interest group politics. It's not fantastic for democracy. It's necessary for democracy, but then when it crosses a certain line, in my view, it so grossly violates the premise of political equality, right? That each of us should have the same influence as every other fellow American citizen. All right, political equality. Well, that's clearly not the case. Was that George Orwell or Animal Farm? Some pigs are more equal than others. Some Americans are more equal than others. Those who have strong representation via lobby groups that are well funded are going to have more influence. A homeless person, also an American citizen, they're going to have far less influence, and then all points in between, right? So both necessary, but also some way they can actually erode democracy. So I guess really that's what I have to say. I'll start there. I'll end there. Check out this material, all of it, including that really nicely done documentary.